Hey everyone, it's David here. I just got back in from vacation. I've been gone the last several days and I get back and I've got mail in my box that I believe is a check. So let's go and open this. Let's see what I got. Do me a favor before I do that. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, go and click the link below. Don't know what you're waiting for and I'll see you inside. All right, so let's go and open up this and see what we got here. Okay, so I have a tax overage check, and this is a tax overage check. It is one of two from the same person I'm getting. So there's a property that was broken up into two different areas. This was a relative from an estate that we're getting paid on. And of course, this is a smaller check. So the total claim is gonna be $11,000. We're getting 40% of that, so we'll get roughly $4,400 for this claim. And this is the first of two checks. Check is dated on, March 7th. I'm filming this on March 17th, and like I said, I've been gone the last several days. I'm gonna put this up here and just hold it. Hopefully that'll zoom in. I know a lot of times I show checks fairly fast. Hopefully this one will zoom in. Now, let's talk about ways that you can get checks like this. This is a tax overage check. I'm gonna show this one more time. Now, if this was a first check, it would be a really good one because I always tell people to start off small. And when I say really good one, it's like I have other tax overages. Like I've got one right here for $19,000, same county. I've got another one right here for $14,579, same county. And then I've got this one for $11,000. And we call this is a relative. She was unable to retrieve the funds on her own. A lot of times they don't know about this one. But we went ahead and we got the forms together for her, and there's three main forms that we got, and I'll talk about those in just a second. So number one is you have to be able to find where the tax overage list is. You can look at your various county, you can Google a county, you could do whatever you want. You could look on YouTube, Google, Bing, any search engine, and what you would do is you'd put, like let's say you're in Dallas, Texas, you could put Dallas County tax overages. Find out where they are. Find out from the clerk of the court where there is a list. Now, counties hate it when we say, oh, we're tax finders, not tax collectors, but tax finders, air finders, property locators, surplus funds locators. They hate titles like ours. But what I usually say, it is public information. You do have the right to this information. I usually say, I'm doing some research, it's public information, and I'd like to see the list that you have. That right there, they have to show it to me, and they're supposed to show it to you. If not, you might wanna bug them a few times, you might wanna call them. County workers are very impolite. If they keep on, you might wanna try to email them, and again, just say something like that. So number one is you find the list. Number two is, if there's no list happening in your local county, go to a county that is. Like the larger counties probably have more tax overages than the smaller counties. Number two is find out the protocol for collecting the tax overage. And I always say start off small. I actually found the other day one of my first checks. I used to do mortgage overages and I got into tax overages a few years ago. And one of my first checks, and I was cleaning something out and I came across this, it was really cool. It was in one of my corp documents book. So here's a check for literally $1,500. I split this one 50% with my client, so I got $750. One of my first paydays. I don't think it was my very first one, but it was one of my first ones. Get paid a few $100, $700, $800, $1,000. I had a young man who went through my program. He found a $30,000 deal and I know you've probably heard the story before if you watch my videos. He basically, the notary messed up and he lost a $9,000 something profit, really close to $10,000. I would rather see you lose a couple grand than $10,000 or $500 or $600 and $10,000, and you learn from your mistakes. But find out the protocol for collecting. We use the forms that we use that I was just talking about. Is number one is we use a assignment of interest. What assignment of interest does is it allows the funds to be transferred from the individual to my corporation. My corporation is on this check. The name of my corporation. Number two is we use a contingency agreement. That protects us and our client. We're getting 40% of this claim. Sometimes I do 30, sometimes I do 50, depending on the size of the claim. Anything that's substantial, I typically do 30. I'll even go down to 20 if they push me. Some money's better than none. If it's something that's really small, like 5,000, 4,000, I'll do 50%. Or if I find out there's been other liens, funds have been paid out, then I'll contact them. I'll say, hey, you know what, we're gonna do 30% of 40,000. It's down to 10,000. I'm doing 40%. They're generally pretty good with that. I've had very few times where that's happened, but it's happened. So you find out the protocol for collecting. And number 3 is get someone paid, but do a small deal first. Do one for a few $100. Do the paperwork, experiment with it, find out. Maybe even run it by an attorney on the first deal, and then get them paid, turn in that paperwork, and then repeat the process. And if you mess up, find out how you messed up. I don't tell people it's my first deal. I don't tell people it's the first time I'm doing this. I mean, obviously it's not my first deal, but I wouldn't call up and say, oh, by the way, this is my first deal. I've never done this before. I'd like to learn this to get you paid. You have to come off professional. Like, you're not selling yourself. I'm not calling up and saying, hey, like, I could show check after check. I could send them an email, resume. That should all come out in the phone conversation. Hi, this is David Church trying to reach John Smith. John, are you aware that the property at 123 Main Street went for over the asking price at auction? And you're pausing between these. And then you could say it went up for auction on whatever date, and it went for over the asking price. Didn't know if you're aware of this or not, but you may have funds that are due back to you. My name is David. I'm with JD Vista. We charge nothing for looking into this and assisting you. And if we do find funds, once you get paid, we would get paid this much percentage. People love that. People will come in and they love hearing that. They love doing that rather than, hi, this is David Church. I'm going to jump in. I'm going to get you paid. I'm going to get you some money here. I'm coming in. I'm making it all about me, and I'm doing all I statements, and it's all about me at this point. By the way, there are so many claims out there. So in state funds, there are an estimated of $50 billion of unclaimed funds. In tax overages, there are millions of dollars out there in unclaimed funds. We're not in a saturated market. This market is recession proof. And I love showing these videos on because I teach a lot about tax overages. I show you the envelopes. I show you what I'm opening. But a lot of people come up, and this is weird because I've had people go through my course. 2 weeks later, they have a video on YouTube, and I'm like, really? And they haven't even collected. And then I see people in different countries, and I've seen video content that's very similar to mine, and I'm like, are you serious here? Like you're doing this? This is an actual check. It's to the county. This is one of my smaller ones that I've shown, but there's another one coming with this, and of course I'd get the smaller one, but it's really cool. I came in from vacation. There's a few checks I'm expecting right now. I get in, so my wife, my 2 kids, and I were in Costa Rica all last week. My oldest boy, him and I went surfing. He got to learn how to surf. He stood up on a board. I got pictures of him. I'll show pictures and everything of my trip and the family. And I really bonded with my family for like a good week. Of course, I'm always working. I have emails. I run a very large company, as you guys know, and I do all that. But I got to really hang out and spend time with the family. I come back, and I believe there were no bills in my mailbox. I'd have to double check that. And I have one check for $2,600. I have another one on the way for $8,000 something. Like I said, these checks are totaling $8,000 total, and we've verified both of these. This is the first one that we verified. Of course, I get the smaller one, and these have to be split up, and they have to. So when I open this, because I like opening these promptu, when I'm doing these videos, I'll also do a short on this, a YouTube short video. But yeah, just trying to get you to understand that there's money out here to be made and to be collected. I do have a free training. I'll put it in the description. So if you want to click the free training below, it will ask you for an email address. It'll take you through a 25-minute or so free training on unclaimed funds. It'll show you some of the checks and some of the testimonials that we have, and we're continuously building checks. We're continuously building testimonials. Love this business. I love getting people paid. Now, question. Okay, I'm gonna go with the $8,000 portion of this, $11,000. I'm getting $4,400 of this. Let's say I did 2 of these a month and I make $9,000 a month. Okay, so I'm making $9,000 a month. 9 times 12 is $98,000. So it's about $100,000 a year I'm making in this business. Could I do that? Absolutely. I would have to get 2 of these deals a month. Now let's go back to that $4,000. And what if I got one of those $4,000 deals commissions a week? Very doable. I would have to be contacting people. I'd have to be spending probably an hour and a half to 2 hours a day on the phone or mailing. I've had a woman come in my program. She was in Georgia. She mailed people. By the way, Georgia had just changed their power of attorney laws. This was a few years ago. And she called her client. She's like, hey, you know what? They rejected her claim because of the power of attorney. So she called them up. She went online into the back documents of the courthouse. She looked at what other people were doing. She retyped her contract. She had her client re-sign the contract of a new power of attorney. She resubmitted the paperwork. And within 3 months, she made $50,000. She does it to this day. Every once in a while, she calls me. I have an old YouTube video of her. Her name is Paula. So if you go back in my older videos, like years ago, and you look, you would find Paula and how she's doing. Very excited and very enthusiastic. This is a very doable business. Whatever form of marketing you do you call, like, I like calling people, I like informing them, then I like sending them the data. Then I offer to send the notary, which we did in this case. We sent her the notary. And again, there's 2 different claims here, and they're totaling $11,000 each. It's the same owner, but there was like 2 different lots on the property here on this. And then you develop a system, and doing one of these a week would be very doable. Again, if you did one at $4,500 a week, let's go to $4,000 a week, and you did this for 50 weeks out of the year, 40 weeks out of the year, you'd be at $160,000 to $200,000 a year. People are doing that in this business. It's a very nice, lucrative business. And again, you have to know your starting point. I would, number 1 is watch my free training. Click the link down below. Number 2 is get involved in learning where these are at the county. Get involved in watching where these go and learn how the process works, and then go over the 3 steps. Like, you load the kit at the county, you find out the protocol for collecting, and then you contact your individual and you work on getting them paid. Literally, you could have your tax overage business up and running if you do those 3 steps. Hey everyone, I appreciate you watching. Do me a favor, if you like this video, give me a like, and I'll see you on the next video.